This is the Vision 79 podcast, where my friend Sander and myself, Mason, discuss recent developments in our business and personal growth. The name Vision 79 comes from our respective racing numbers. Sanders is 40, mine is 39, and we have similar ambition to progress in our business and personal growth. Many successful people have started small, just like us, but very few of them have documented their early years. They often say they wish they had, and given we believe in learning lessons from others, we intend to be the first to document our journey from start to finish. This is simply a documentary of our lives, and as such, we do not monetize these videos, so enjoy the ad-free content. Each episode is broken down into 3 segments, each covering our progress over the past week. We start by discussing our life updates, then our business updates, and lastly, we share any lessons we've learned over the past week. We have timestamps in the description to navigate these sections easily. Today is July 5th, 2026, and we're recording episode 114. So, what is your life update this week?
Life update this week. Had a shorter week at Blue Origin because we had Friday off, which was nice.
Must be nice.
It was nice. It was nice.
That's my favorite response to that.
It was a slow week. I mean, week of July 4th, so definitely a slower week.
It's not worth blowing up your own rockets if everyone else is blowing up fireworks in the same week, right? They get all the attention.
Yeah. But I've been doing next generation test work, so that's what I've been doing traditionally. My eyes really hurt today, so sorry if I look weird on camera or whatever.
You do look weird. I'm kidding.
But
that's me.
But anyways, been doing next generation test work, creating test plans, working with the responsible engineers for the different subsystems in order to get a better understanding of what they're looking for out of the testing. And how we actually can perform it. So that's what my work update this week. I got the BMW back from Autobahn.
Awesome.
So BMW is back in action. Car feels really good. They fixed the front bumper, did the little seatbelt adjustment thing that I had. They did ABS module, pre-charge pump. They fixed the central locking and the light control module.
Hell yeah.
By reflashing those. So all that stuff works. I still have an airbag light, which I figured I would because of the seatbelt tensioner, or the seat. Either one, both are the seat is completely broken and the tensioner is really weak, so it could be either one. But the back adjustment on the seat has never worked right. And Alex tried to fix it, but it's just internal to the seat. It's screwed up, which is kind of what I figured. I dug into it a couple times, and that's what I'd found. So he found the same thing. And then weirdly, right rear caliper is not grabbing at all. I've driven the car. Yeah, I've driven the car a few days now, and that rotor still has surface rust on it. Like he's not grabbing.
But it drives fine. I guess you don't really push the car.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Right. So I mean, it drives okay. I mean, the brakes have always felt kind of like mid on that car. Like they're not squishy, but you just have to kind of push the pedal hard for the amount of braking that you get. That's always been kind of the case, and there's a very long throw on the pedal, but that's just kind of like how those cars feel. They just don't feel like super stellar in that respect.
Yeah. They are pretty heavy.
Yeah, they're very heavy. They're like
for their
400 pounds. Yeah, they're a big car. And so I want to message Alex first and see if the ABS module could ever cause a caliper to go out, if there was like a line port clogged or something like that. I want to make sure that that's not the case, because everything does tie into the ABS module. So if that caliper is just not getting brake pressure,
right,
then that'd be different, of course.
Right.
And I guess I could verify that too by bleeding that corner.
See if you get an
error. If I get an error, or even if I get fluid out, I know that line is building pressure.
Right.
So that's one thing. If I do that caliper, I might end up doing more than just that caliper. I remember the front left, I couldn't get it to bleed when I tried to do a brake flush on it. Something was wrong with it. It works, it just won't bleed. You can pull that bleed nipple loose, and it just won't. I don't know if
it might be just like rusted shut
or something, but yeah, it's weird. So we'll see. Maybe I'll try getting a new bleed nipple for that front and a new right rear caliper if I can't get any fluid. Or if I do get fluid out of it and it's still not working, I'll try that.
Yeah.
Kind of go that route. But all in all, the car is running and driving well. It's running better than it ever has. Still throws a check engine light occasionally. I threw it after like 2 days
Hmm.
of driving. That's just because I have low compression on the cylinder too, so
Got it.
that's not gonna go away. But it does run a lot better and drive a lot better than it used to. So, and rear struts are blown out, but I knew that.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's
Did they do anything to the engine?
they
or
did
did they
coils
let it
and
ride?
plugs
Okay.
in it.
That helps with the Camaro a lot.
Yeah, and so it helped it a lot. You know, it's not perfect, but it's not gonna be perfect. So
Yeah.
is what it is. At least it's running and driving. It can get me to and from work, which
Right.
is important because I'm going to Tennessee, not this coming weekend, but the next one. Um, Sammy wants to go see bears. So we're gonna go drive around the Miata in up a little bit more north, so it should be fun. But
When is bear mating season?
it's like now. So like really,
Between mid-May and early July.
yeah,
Okay.
that'd be great.
Cool.
So yeah, bears. Yeah, I'll
You
go
looking
see
forward
them.
to it?
Hopefully they've already eaten though, because it's
Well,
July.
no, because they're preparing for winter. So like from now until winter, they're like eating as much as they can.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll fuck you, then they'll eat you.
Got it. So, oh well, whatever. If I die, I die.
I hope not.
Hope not either. There was a girl just this past week in Orlando that got eaten by a gator.
That's true, but
Didn't
she
you
was
see that?
retarded,
Yeah, she
and
was.
you're not retarded.
Yeah.
So, well, you're driving the Miata,
Yeah,
but you're not going to be driving around looking at bears in the Miata.
I hope not. I mean, it's kind of hard to predict. I'd say, right? It's the
Okay.
wilderness.
Cool. I would
Right?
say
If you're driving and you see a bear, then you're automatically driving around the Miata looking at bears. So it's
okay.
like,
If an officer arrives at my door and they say, "You're the beneficiary of Sanders Sorok's life insurance policy, and I have to let you know he was killed by a bear," I would take a deep breath and I would say, "Before I judge, tell me how it happened." And if they say it ripped through the soft top of the Miata, like ripping through a soft shell tortilla, then like all bets are off. I'm gonna bully you on this podcast till the end, till I die. But
I hope not.
But if you're like, if you go on like a bear safari or whatever, and you're like in an SUV and they're like, the bear ripped the door off the
Oh,
hinge
no,
and
we're
there
not
was no
doing
way
a
to predict it, I
safari.
would feel terrible.
I think how we're doing it is there's like a lodge cabin we're staying at, and you can
Mhm.
see bears like down in
That's
the valley
fine.
or whatever.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
I
Yeah.
think that's how we're doing it. So
That's good.
Um,
No, then I would be really sad. I would be sad. I would not be sad if you died from idiocy. That's for sure.
no, I'm
If
not
I
gonna-
were that
I'm
girl's
not gonna go
friend,
off roading in the Miata to go find a bear.
good.
If
Good.
we
Then I will
we-
grieve.
If we see a bear at the lodge cabin, then that's good. I'll
Mhm.
wait for it to go away before I go outside, and should be good. Should be good.
What is a
Hope-
bear's top speed? It can round up to 40 miles an hour.
That's pretty
What
fast.
is a bear's 0 to 60? Let's see.
What's it, 0 to 40?
Oh, man. Oh, no one's measured it. That's stupid.
I'll be the first. I'll let you know.
Yeah, you'll be like,
Miata versus bear.
Miata got the bear off the line from a dig.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, if you died from idiocy, then I would probably just laugh and then bully you. It's your memory, right? But if you die for a real reason, I would be sad.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I don't die.
I hope you don't die at all.
Yeah.
But it
apparently
happens.
they're. Which one's the nicer one, the black bear or the brown bear?
Well, no bears are nice, but the one you want to be worried about is
slightly-
brown bears.
Yeah, I think these are black bears because I looked it up.
Well, that's
They
good.
were
That's good news.
the tamer of the bears, which is like kind of ironic.
That's good.
Yeah.
Some black bears, if they're like really desensitized to humans, they can become a problem because they're like big raccoons, but raccoons can't hurt you. Bears can hurt you, and bears know they can hurt you.
Yeah.
So like if they're super desensitized, then it can be an issue. But generally speaking, people have scared off black bears before.
Yeah.
People don't really scare off brown bears. Like the brown bears just do what they want.
Yeah. The
So
brown bear killed
that's
you.
good. That's good to hear.
Yeah. So that's the kind of the plan for the coming weeks. So I got new tires on the Miata.
Mhm.
And then doing that, I did a oil change, and I had to fix a coolant leak out of the heater hose. I was
Yep.
pissing coolant out of the heater hose.
Which is rare for that car.
Yeah, to have a cooling issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had cooling issues in the past. I had some fans that were intermittently bad.
But overheating in that car is like it's
Yeah.
slightly higher than normal, but it's
I don't
still
actually
bad.
end up overheating it with the heater hose. I just noticed it. I noticed it smelled a little bit.
Mhm.
And then I looked out, there was a tiny little weep hole. It was like a
Mhm.
drip, 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 drip.
Mhm.
And so I was like, okay, I'll do it before it gets worse.
Our heating issues are not the same.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a real nightmare to bleed.
Yeah.
because I usually go off the engine cooling fan to know when the thermostat's opened up. And the relay was out, but I didn't know that. And so I ended up boiling water in the reservoir. It didn't boil in the engine because the pressure's so much higher.
That sounds more like my heating issues.
Yeah, it boiled in the reservoir though. And so I ended up having to rebleed, and it didn't overheat. It just got hot enough to boil the reservoir.
Well, that's good.
But yeah, it's so I got a new relay I got to get. Mazda was closed for July 4th on Saturday, so I wasn't able to call their parts department.
Right.
But I'll get that stuff on Monday. Hopefully it'll be here Tuesday or Wednesday. And then on World Pack, because when I was inspecting the car, I noted that the swave cylinder, the boot was broken on the swave cylinder, and that's a common issue on these cars. And so I don't really want that to go out on my trip, although it wouldn't be that bad to fix on the road. I've done it before. It's not too bad.
You just don't want to have to.
Yeah, I just don't want to have to. So I'm probably going to, or I already did order a new swave cylinder, ordered a new radiator cap, because the seal was a little bit, it was worn out. It was the original, that's the original cap for the car. And so it's worn out. So I got a new radiator cap because I'll be driving the car a little bit harder. So temperatures and pressures will be higher.
Yeah.
And then on World Pack, I ordered new calipers all around, new pads all around, and new rotors all around. Because when I was looking, the brakes were kind of close on front and rear. And I know that calipers are kind of notorious on those cars.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to do them before they got bad. And I had some e-brake adjusting issues on the rears as well. So I know that like those calipers are kind of 50-50, and I've always had caliper issues on that car. I've bought in brand new from Mazda too, like from OEM spec, and I've had issues with them, and I've tried all the aftermarket ones. And the best luck I've had has either been Duralast, funny enough, from AutoZone, which like haven't been good, but they've been decent.
Right.
Or World Pack. So I did the World Pack this time around, fronts and rears, and then new rotors and new pads. Got Hawk pads with stock rotors. That's how I run that car now.
Flex on me, whatever.
And also a new intake tube for the filter. It's pretty funny. So there's like a tube that will suck in air closer to the firewall. Plastic tube that goes from the air box. That's where the air first enters, and there's a hole inside of it by the exhaust where the plastic has gotten hot and cold too many times, and it's all broken and crumbled. So like you can put like 3 or 4 fingers through the intake tube right there. So
you're replacing pass.
Yeah, I mean it's not going to affect like MAF because it's before the MAF and the filter, but it kind of defeats the purpose of that tube entirely, because it's got a hole in it. So
well, you're just sucking hot air in from the exhaust.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do that stuff this week in preparation for next week, and then hopefully get to drive the car a good amount during the week and over the weekend if I can get it ready for the weekend, which I presume I can, and make sure that everything works really well, and then take it up to Tennessee. But outside of that, we did some service on your car, your Lexus, this week. So I'm sure you'll talk about that in your update.
For sure. I'll add it right now.
Unless you want me to.
No, you're good. I just added it to my list.
It's pretty simple. But Sammy is in Costa Rica still, so she's still over there.
Did you tell me that last week?
Yeah.
We did talk about that?
Yeah. Instead,
because her Ecuador pass.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So she's in Costa Rica.
So she comes back from Costa Rica. She's home for like a week and then to Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
She's home for like less than a week.
She's probably taken more vacations in 2026 than I've taken in the last decade.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
That's awesome for her.
Yeah, she's in
because that's her drug of choice, right?
Yeah.
It's like vacationing. Cool.
Yeah.
Travel.
So she's doing it. Yeah.
Cool, dude.
But yeah, so she's in Costa Rica. Sends me lots of cool pictures of birds and snakes and frogs and monkeys and cool. Yeah, lots of wildlife over there.
Thought she's been to Costa Rica to look for snakes a couple times.
She saw some cool ones.
Yeah.
They've
got a lot of really
some snakes that I
stuff.
Wouldn't have come up to Boo and taken a picture of. But
I found a snake. There's something called a yellow rat snake that I've been wanting to see for years. I've been trying to find them for my whole fucking life. I've never been able to find one. There was one in my apartment complex 2 weeks ago. Then I got to say hello, but look how pretty these are. With yellow with
Wow.
black stripes.
Yeah, those are
They're
cool.
gorgeous.
That's cool.
Yeah, he was little. He was like this big.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, that's about my life update side of things.
Cool.
A little bit more, not too much more on the business side, but that's about the life side of it. What do you have for life this week?
Awesome. Mine's scattered, man. It was a long week for me. First of all, it's America's 250th birthday.
Oh yeah, shit.
Woo!
America.
Happy birthday.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Dude, did you see the fireworks in DC?
Mm.
They set the world record for the largest firework event.
Really?
850,000 munitions.
Jeez.
Craziness.
Wow.
Craziness. So last night, Grace and I went up to, my parents were having like an event with the neighbors over. So we went over and said hello.
Mhm.
And my mom gave me a ton of food to take home. And then we went to a secret location that I won't say on the podcast because I don't want either of the people watching this to go there next year because I don't want it to become a popular spot. But we went to our secret spot to watch fireworks and we got like a full 360-degree view of like all the fireworks around us. And Grace wanted to go to a drone show earlier in the week in Cocoa Beach. The busiest I've ever seen Cocoa Beach.
Oh.
It was at 9. We got there at 8:30. Zero parking on all of the beach. And so we drove around and we watched the drone show like as we were driving. And then we got the fuck out of there like immediately after because we didn't want to get stuck in gridlock. And so for fireworks last night, I was like, oh, maybe we could just drive around. And then I remembered this spot and I was like, let's go to this secret spot. It'll be better. If we had driven around, we would have been like, oh, there's like some fireworks, right?
Yeah.
You see one here, you see one there. From the viewpoint that we got, the whole horizon was fireworks.
Oh, that's cool.
Full all around us, everybody was setting off fireworks for like 2 hours. And I was like, it is so crazy to think that everywhere in the United States is like this right now.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
There's probably $100 billion spent on fireworks yesterday.
Dude, I actually thought about this because I was like, Spirit Halloween makes all of its money in like a month and a half, 2 months out of the year, right? They like shut down a Macy's and they do their Halloween stuff. Fireworks stores must make 95% of their money the day before 4th of July.
Yeah.
And then some on New Year's. But like, that's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
So the business model is interesting to me. But America's 250th, hell yeah. There's a lot of like rah America stuff online, which I am just an absolute fiend for. I love this country. So that's my first bullet point. My second bullet point is I figured out that Doug DeMuro has a car podcast. So I've been listening to a lot of that. It's been entertaining. Thought I'd recommend it to you.
Nice.
My Lexus app that allows me to remote start the phone wasn't opening. And so I deleted the app and reinstalled the app. Wouldn't let me sign in. Couldn't sign in on the computer. They just deleted my account entirely. Don't know why.
That's convenient.
What I found out eventually was they revamped the app and refreshed it, and some accounts were lost in the process, right?
Okay.
I pay $15 a month to have that app, which allows me to see all the metrics from my phone and remote start it and stuff. I'm happy to pay it. That's fine. But I had just paid it 2 weeks ago, and then I had to pay it when I got my new account, right? So I called them, and I was like, hey, this is fucked up. The phone call was 3 minutes and 17 seconds, and I had a full refund and a reason for why it happened in that time. That's from me hitting enter with operator, getting me to an associate. So like, fantastic experience with an otherwise difficult process. Speaking of the Lexus,
I wish I had that good experience with the companies that I have to work with.
So, oh man, who did I deal with previously? The Beard Club. So I bought mustache wax because my mustache was getting long and it was like frizzy everywhere. And so I bought mustache wax. I wound up not really liking it. And so I was like, I'm probably not going to get this again, but it's wax. It doesn't go bad. I'll just keep it just in case. If I want a longer mustache again, maybe it'll be handy. And on like Thursday, I get a charge at 2:05 a.m. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like watching my finances like a hawk now because I don't want to spend any money. $16 fucking to the Beard Club. And so I log into my account. And when I had purchased the mustache wax a month ago, it put me on an automatic recurring subscription to buy another can of mustache wax that will last me 3 years, this tiny little thing.
Yeah.
Even if I used it every day. And they put me on a monthly subscription. And so I sent an irate email and they replied to me within a couple hours and they were like, oh, we're sorry to hear about it. There's a couple courses. In my email, I was like, I want a refund and I want you to cancel the order and I just want you to take me off the subscription. Fuck this. And they were like, we could send you, if you pay us another $10, we could send you a bonus gift. And I was like, no, just give me a refund. And like, it was a pain in the ass. And so like, I had that experience. And then the next day, the Lexus shit happened. And I was like, God damn it. And I got on the phone and the lady was like really nice and helped me so fast. She was like, She had just asked me for my email. She didn't even need any other info. She just got my email and was like, done.
Yeah.
August and September are free. And I was
No,
like,
that's
oh,
awesome.
okay, cool. Yeah. So that was good. Also on the Lexus, I was late on my 40,000 mile service by 2,500 miles. I was late on my 45,000 mile service. Technically, I'm at 4,750 now. So net, I'm still down 2,500, but I didn't make that any worse this time. You see
Yeah.
what I mean? I basically just
Yeah.
shifted 2,500 miles. At some point, I would like to do a shorter service to get back on track, like at 50,000 miles, say, just
Sure.
to swap the oil out, just to get me back in a rhythm. But scheduling that is, challenging, so we'll see. But as a part of this, we took the wheels off the car for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
They were the lugs were torqued perfectly to spec, and so I'm sure there aren't any issues due to that. And we found that the wear life on the brakes is actually still pretty decent,
Yeah.
which is crazy because I really fucking push those brakes. And as a result of that, I had you drive the car. I think I routinely push the car harder than the hardest braking that you did when you drove.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I don't drive stuff super hard.
Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah. Well, I drive the Miata kind of hard sometimes. I don't really drive like I don't know. I don't really drive that hard anymore. I will whip the Miata once in a while. That is true.
When you whip the Miata, when you go like 80% in the Miata, because like there's sometimes you really go for it, right? It's a night
Yeah.
drive, we're having fun with the top down.
Right.
When you're like going 80% in the Miata is the majority of my driving
I
in
gotcha.
any
Yeah.
vehicle. So I push the Lexus. So the brakes, blanket statement, have been really vibrating a lot recently. And I wasn't sure if it was the front or the rears. I know that the rears are more worn than the front, so I thought maybe it's that. When we got all the wheels off, we found that they're actually all four worn pretty evenly.
Yeah.
But there's heat scoring on the front, which
Yeah.
implies that the fronts are warped. And so I have a new set of OEM rears, calipers and pads, but we're gonna wait to do the service because we're gonna get fronts and then do them this week before your trip to thing.
Oh, and sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go for it.
I got the tool to
Spin back
screw
the
those
pistons.
pistons. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
I rented it from Advanced Auto. Shout out. There was beer spilled all inside the toolkit. Swear to God.
Cool.
I picked it up. It was wet on the outside.
Mhm.
I opened it up and I smelled it. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Uh-huh.
And it was fucking like Bud Light or like some cheap ass beer. So I spent
terrible.
30 minutes fucking picking all the tools out,
Uh-huh.
washing the case
Yeah.
out with a hose,
Yeah.
and then fucking putting it all back in. But,
Well,
like,
thank you.
what the fuck?
You know how you can
But
buy?
people like really don't fucking give a shit. Like,
Yeah. Rent.
I haven't been the type of person who's like, I think that AI with opposable thumbs will be an improvement on the quality of our lives, right?
I think you massively overestimate the average American citizen.
Yes, that is the point I'm gauging. I think there are certain sectors of individuals and companies that would benefit from an AI with opposable thumbs.
Yep. I agree with you.
Super frustrating.
I agree with you.
Anyways.
One time, you know the pilot bearing pullers you can get from AutoZone? It's like 3
Mhm.
claws. One time, I was doing some work with that. I can't even remember what it was. But I like that it wouldn't clear another component. And so
yeah.
I was like, oh, I could shave down with an angle grinder the arm on this. And so I shaved it down, ended up breaking the arm completely in half. And I was like, I'm just gonna put it back in the box and return it. They're not gonna check. And so that's exactly what I did. And I returned it. I got my refund. They never charged me. This was when I was in high school. I was a shit.
Yeah.
Now I would admit to it and pay them out for the tool. But in high school, I was like, nah, fuck it, no one's gonna care. And then some guy got beer spilled in their tool. So
Yeah.
they're terrible about checking that, which seems like a crazy oversight from the business perspective, right? Like
Yeah.
people can rent tools and abuse the shit out of them, like me and Beer Guy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It is kind of a weird business model.
it is. I think it's cool. I like it from a
Yeah.
consumer standpoint. I really like tool rental, but if people are going to abuse your tools, then like that's not cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wasn't.
But I
cool.
cleaned it all up and it's
Thank you.
fine now.
So I learned a little more about like you have taught me so much about braking from a performance standpoint and what to feel when you're in the car and how to do it. And how to manipulate the temperature to get the brakes where you need them to be, and then the different type of braking styles you can do into different corners. But what I haven't learned about in detail is the mechanics of what causes warping.
Mm.
And so I learned yesterday, I did some research that it can be caused by a couple different things. One of them that I hadn't considered is over torquing or irregularly torquing the lug nuts,
Yeah.
because then you're applying different amounts of pressure on different parts of the radius of the disc. And as it cools, it'll cool at different rates and cause warping. Now, fortunately, my lugs were tightened properly by the Lexus dealership. Thank you, Lexus. So I'm sure that that's not a part of the issue.
Traditionally, I would have expected to find, if that were the case, I would have expected to
On all
find
four.
one or two on like each wheel or a wheel like significantly looser
Yeah.
versus all of them were very tight.
Right. And so then if all of them are very tight.
I mean, tight to spec.
Sure, perfectly done.
My
Because
bad.
Lexus of Miami would never fuck that up. But that's something that I hadn't considered. But primarily the issue with warping is irregular deposits from the brake pads. And that can be from shitty brake pads or from getting the rotors really hot and then sitting with the pads in the same spot on the rotors, which my Lexus has the automatic brake hold feature. So if you're driving around traffic and the brakes get hot and you have the auto brake hold feature on, that will absolutely contribute to that. But when I think about my driving style, I often brake late in traffic scenarios where I then just sit on the brake. And sometimes I keep my foot lightly on the brake, and other times I use the brake hold. But I'm certain that that contributes to it a lot in traffic. The problem is I don't feel the really bad vibration when I'm speeding up and slowing down to a traffic light on 192. Where I feel that vibration is when I'm fucking flying down an off ramp and I need to brake for the traffic light to turn onto like Garrett Boulevard. And then I get like, blah, 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 and I like way understeer through the corner. So it's a problem that needs to be solved. And so something that I've learned is that slotted rotors, in addition to giving your brake pads something to bite on consistently, which I knew they did, they also help with shaving off the top layer of the brake pad very routinely and evenly distributing the brake pad amongst the rotor, which helps with heat warping. It causes more brake dust, slotted rotors, right? Which is why my Camaro front wheels look like shit. But that can help. And then drilling the rotors keeps them cooler, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think I drive the car hard enough to need drilled rotors. Like I'm not tracking the car.
Yeah.
They get hot, but they don't get like track hot.
What concerns me about drilled rotors too is drilling a rotor really does affect the structural integrity of the rotor. And unless you're going for something like really reputable and performance based, it can be a little bit iffy. I've seen rotors crack before, and it can be obviously really hairy because it's not going to crack when you're going 5 miles an hour. It's going to crack when you're going 80 to 20, right?
Yeah.
And so like that's why like I did have them for a little bit and I started noticing hair fractures on them. And these were steel. You know, it was steel rotors with hair fractures on them. And I bought them for not like super reputable, but they were like a performance brand from Moss. And you know, after that I was like, I think I'm just gonna try swatted or flat faced. Just because the rotor integrity, it just stays a lot stronger when you don't drill them.
And the Camaro has slotted and drilled, and I've never had an issue with it. But the Camaro rotors are a lot bigger than the Lexus rotors. And so you're drilling holes, but there's a lot more metal atoms there to give it more structural rigidity. And so the biggest constraint here, if I had it my way, I really love the R1 concept brakes on the Camaro. Haven't driven it on track, but I drive the Camaro the same way I drive the Lexus, if not a little harder, and they're perfect for what I need. If I had it my way, I would get R1 Concept slotted rotors with no drilled holes in them. They don't sell those for my car. They technically sell just slotted rotors, but they look weird and I don't like them. They're black finish and they have a bunch of holes, which makes it look like a universal fit for any car. It just, I don't like it. I don't want that. So if I had it my way, I would get something that doesn't exist. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm looking at a couple different brands that you've recommended to me. And if I can find a reputable rotor that's just slotted and I'd like to get that. I would like to get aftermarket pads. Hawks doesn't make any, so we'll see what I can find. But worst case scenario, I will get OEM brakes and I will bed them all 4 will be OEM pads and rotors. I'll bed them properly, and I will just run with it and see how it goes. And if I end up warping them again, then I know I have to go with something aftermarket. But for all I know, the guy before me like drove the car even worse than I do and like fucked it up even worse. And then I made I compounded the issue, right?
Sure.
We'll also be properly torquing everything on the wheels, which the previous people didn't. So I'll see if I can find something better for the fronts. And if I can't, then we'll just do OEM everything.
Yeah.
So that's that. That's that bullet point, I should say. I also, here's my spending update because I'm still on the LC 500 train. You'll notice I don't have an energy drink today. I have a free coffee from the apartment complex. So for spending, there were a couple things that I wanted to pay in June that technically weren't due until July, but I really want July to be like a perfect use case of like, here's what an ideal month or realistic month looks like. So for example, when I built the lattice wall for the plants in my bedroom, I had put a lot of charges on my credit card because I can't remember why. I had the money to do it, but regardless, the bill was due like July 5th or something, right? I just paid that off in June to get rid of it. My speeding ticket, I still had to pay the courts for my speeding ticket. I just paid that in June. My traffic school for the speeding ticket. Interesting note. I don't know when the last time you had to do traffic school was.
I don't think I've ever done it.
Ever?
No.
That's absurd, but I'm happy for you. Anyway, I've done it many times, but you can only do it a certain number of times before you max out, right? Unless it's court ordered, which this one was. So I'm doing my court ordered traffic school and I have to pick the school. I am familiar with all of the options on the market because I've tried them all because I'm looking for the easiest one to do. Most of them, it's like a wall of text and you have to wait for the timer to run out and then you click next. And then at the end, like the very end, they give you like 100-question test and you have to pass it, right? And I was like, man, I really don't want to deal with that. I'm fucking familiar with everything in here. I know what all the courses are like. I know the little green logo mascot guy for lowest price traffic school. I don't want to do any of this. And I found one called Comedy Defense Driving School, where it's a fun, lighthearted comedy traffic school. And I was like, well, this seems fun. I wonder if it's legit. It is legit. They've been around since 1986.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, I'll do that. It's $5 or $50. I have written here $50, but I think that was an estimate. I think it wound up only being $5. So it was cheap. And I was like, I'll do it. I buy it. And I'm like, maybe I'll watch it if it's funny. They filmed this in 1986 and have not updated it since.
Nice.
It's so cringy. It's slapstick comedy. It's bad skits. It's bad sketches. It's like the intro to a bad porn film. It was so terrible. And it was 4 hours of it. And so I wound up just like putting it on in the background and paying close attention for the judge watching. But I had it on one of my monitors while the other monitor was doing its own thing. And as I paid very close attention the whole time, the questions were like, the questions for each module was like, what is your first name? Sander, Esteban, or Alejandro? And then when you get to the final exam, half the questions are like, what's your email? And then the other half of the questions are like, what is a potential outcome from drinking and driving? And it's like increased driving ability, wrecking and harming yourself and others, or the car might park itself in the garage or some dumb shit like that, right? Stupid easy questions. I got 100% on the exam.
Wow.
Easy peasy. So I paid all that. I got that wrapped up and taken care of. There's nothing on my record anymore, so I'm all good. I had to pay for real estate agents. You get your license. You pay an ass load of money to get your license, and then you have a year and a half before you have to pay another ass load of money to take another course to retain your license. And then from then on, you just do like 5 hours of recurring training a year and you're good indefinitely. But this is the last major, like you have to pay a shitload of money thing. So it's $150 to take this like 40-hour course. So I paid the $150 in June just to get it done. And now I'm doing the course, which is going to take time. So all of that is annoying, but I got it all wrapped up and taken care of in June. I overspent a little bit in June compared to my income, but I recognize that I only got my shit together in the last week of June, so c'est la vie. But July is looking good so far. I've been tracking my expenses every day. Cool. I've been really diligent about everything. Stuff pops up, right? Like I wasn't planning on buying front brakes for the Lexus. Now I might be spending $400 on front brakes, right?
Yeah.
Shit happens, but I'm intending on incorporating all of those expenses in there, right?
Sure.
Um, I thought I had another spending thing in here, but I can't remember. So I'm just going to jump to the next thing. The barriers between me and an LC 500 is me spending properly for 2 months, which I'm doing well. I have to find the car, which is probably the last thing that I have to do, right? Because it has to be the car, it has to be the right car. And so to work toward that, I've made accounts on Cars and Bids, Bring a Trailer, Auto Trader, Auto Tempest, Cars.com, Car Gurus, and I set them all to automatically alert me when LC 500s are updated. So I can start paying attention to the market and figure out what the sales cycle looks like. I have to be approved for a loan. My credit hit a new high score last week, so I'm not going to fuck with my credit at all.
Yep.
We use a rent payment system here called Bilt, B-I-L-T. You can link it to your credit cards and build credit, but your credit takes like a 20 to 50 point hit first, and then you build it back over 6 months like a new credit card. So I didn't sign up for that because I'd like to buy an LC in the next 6 months. So I just left that alone. So I'm not fucking with my credit. And then one of the last things is I need a garage.
Yeah.
And now I have a garage.
Yes, you told me.
There are
Very cool.
6 garages in my building. There's over 50 apartments in my building. And so the garages are not available often. And so I went to the front office this week and I said, hey, I'd like to be put on the wait list for a garage. And they said, cool, sounds good. We'll let you know when it happens. And I was like, okay. And they said, we'll look at your building and we'll look at surrounding buildings. And there's like a carriage house across the street from me with just garages. And I was like, I'm really only interested in one in my building because I want to be able to walk in and get in the elevator. And they were like, okay, sounds good. My guy calls me the next day. He was like, yo, Mason, I have a garage for you. Come in, sign the paperwork. It's yours. And I was like, okay. And so I showed up. I know there's a wait list for these things, but I was like, hey, man, you got me? And he was like, yeah, I got you. And I was like, okay, it's in my building. He was like, yeah, it's the one that you want. You're all good. Like, here's the key. I'm like, you have to sign the lease thing. I was like, okay. And so I got it. And there's 3 garages on each side of the building. And the one closest to there's 2 recessed garages which have extra parking space in front of them, and then of those 2 there's one that's covered, and I got a covered one. Which is nice. So I have like a little front porch, so even if I have a car in the garage and it's raining, I can back the car up almost entirely. Like half the car is under that awning, so like you get out of the car. Actually, I haven't even tried pulling the front of the car under there. I've only backed up against the garage, but like you only get wet for 2 seconds while you're getting into the garage. And then the trunk is covered. So even if there's a car in the garage, I can unload groceries in the cover. So
that's nice.
Yeah, so I spent a whole day this week with a broom just sweeping like all the spider webs and stuff out and cleaning it up. But it's really nice. I have enjoyed it a lot so far.
Sweet.
I can still remote start the Lexus in there. You're supposed to be able to get an app, but my Wi-Fi doesn't reach down to the garage, so I don't have the garage app. So I have to start the Lexus in a closed garage. So I just kind of hold my breath when I get downstairs and open up the garage, so I don't die of carbon monoxide poisoning. But so that's been nice. I think I'm gonna try to get it on a schedule where like the Camaro is in there one night and then the Lexus is in there the next night and back and forth. Because I know that keeping the car in the garage is going to extend the lifespan of the cars. And so maybe I'll like rotate on and off. So yeah, it's been nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, my last life update here is that I've been spending longer days at Northrop Grumman. We've had some important stuff come up and I am taking more of a leadership role. And as a part of that, I have been covering for other people, but more on that in my lessons learned. What is your business update this week?
So for business this week, shop space is completely cleaned up now. So I got everything done up how I want it, cleaned up, etc. Steve brought by the welder that I can borrow. I have to get a tank for it, but otherwise it's got mask and gloves, and the welder's actually there, so that's really cool. I welded up.
Do you know what kind of gas it uses?
It uses an argon CO2 mix. It's regular MIG welder for steel.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
They had at Dutchy, they had they would keep the gases separate, and then they had like 2 lines going into it, and they could control the ratio mix like as they were welding, and they would change the ratio based on like what they were welding.
Got it.
Which was interesting. But they were bigger welders, so like bigger setup.
Yeah, and more advanced than I as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got that in. I'm gonna try and go to Air Gas in Cocoa this week and pick up a bottle and some gas.
That's where Dutchie used to go, actually.
That's
wonder
where
if
kind of
they-
everyone goes
I
around
wonder if
here.
they get deals. Huh.
Probably.
Should text Dutchie.
But that's what I'm gonna do this week. I did my first little weld. I welded the cap on the pin for the lift. It was really splattery. I didn't really know the settings. It was really splattery, kind of ugly. And then someone else came by and used the same welder, because I was actually using a welder in a different bay. Someone else came by and used it, and he was like, "Oh, the head of this is off," and so he ended up fixing it. So it actually had like an issue, which may have contributed to why my welds are so ugly. But it did weld up and it works. So I welded that pin for the lift and put the pin in. In addition to that, this week I moved the green car and the toolbox in with the help of Mike. Very appreciative. Thank you. So moved that stuff into the bay and got everything set up. And it looks great in there. I mean, you saw it. It's night and day from when you first saw it with the boat in there to where it is today. So huge improvement in that respect.
You've done a great job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I've put a lot of effort into it.
I know you would.
Yeah, it's good though. It's very, very good. So still waiting on an AC guy. I did text 2 people that I know who do ACs. I forgot to reach out to the company that you sent me.
That's okay.
But I texted the guy who did my duplex AC, and I don't feel comfortable with him doing it for a few reasons. One, he didn't understand, like, he acted as though he said he's done mini splits before, but he didn't know what side the drain line comes out of and what side the refrigerant line comes out of,
Well, that's
or
an
how he
important thing
wants
to
to
know.
run the lines, or like really anything. And like I sent him many photos of this, and he was actively looking at the photos on the call, and it still took me over 20 minutes on the phone to explain like very basic principles.
We know somebody who's in HVAC. Who is it?
I know that Travis that I used to work with at Audubon is an HVAC now, and so I texted him too.
It was Connor.
Oh yeah,
Connor was an HVAC.
Yeah,
That's who I'm thinking
I'm
of.
probably not
And Greg.
gonna call him.
And Greg.
Oh yeah,
Because Greg, they did. What's the Penguin one? Climate Experts. That's his company.
oh got it.
He was with them. I wonder if they do any good.
I don't know, but I texted Travis. I know he would do a good job. Based on what I've working with him at Audubon, I know that he's diligent and methodical with it. He's very busy, probably because he's good. But he did say that he would come by and take a look at it with me, and he would do that with me. Just still have to coordinate about a date. It's July 4th weekend, so I didn't text him this weekend.
Yeah.
I did text him last week, but I think he was busy. He didn't respond. So still waiting on that side of things. And in terms of
Why don't you do it yourself?
because I don't know how to braze the piping. That's the problem. I don't know how to
That is
braze the
tough.
piping for the refrigerant lines.
That is tough.
And so that side of things I can't really do. I mean, honestly, with how this week has gone, which I'll get into, and my previous experiences, you ask a good question.
Yeah.
But
Well, so I don't ask it judgmentally, but
no, I know
we're
you don't.
we're
Yeah.
we're familiar. We're familiar with. We are familiar. Fucking Jesus, that was a. That's especially funny with the sentence I'm about to say. We're familiar with thermal system design, and you're familiar enough with this specific system to explain it over the phone to somebody, which tells me that you have like a firm understanding of how the system should look.
Yeah.
And so the only thing that would stop you, I mean, a lot of the lines are like, you just fucking screw it in. But brazing is difficult, and so I understand that. That's tough. You would have to buy tooling to do it too.
I know
It's not
mini
like
splits are really sensitive too to refrigerant load as well as drain lines. I know that they can be
Right.
really temperamental.
Right.
And so, like, my lesson from a couple weeks back was if you want something done right, either do your research or do it yourself. Right. That lesson was evident again this week, but I think part of the practice of me putting that into kind of fruition was traditionally I may have like bet on the guy that done my duplex before, even if I did kind of have a mid conversation with him. But like this time around, I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
And additionally, he wanted to charge me $1,500
Fucking Jesus.
with not even putting them up. Like they're already up.
Right.
It was like to run lines, to run the electrical, and to drill the holes.
That's
Like,
crazy.
hell no.
You could probably fucking do the holes yourself. Fuck that.
Yeah. And what, save $500?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
So I'm still waiting on that stuff. for now, but not in a super big rush for it. It's been tolerable at least.
Yeah, and
Um,
this is like we're coming up on like the worst of the year.
yeah,
And so like if this is as bad as it is, we were there until noon yesterday and it was like
yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah,
Good like
yeah. It does get worse. So, like the worst
mhm,
time, honestly, is like 4 p.m. to midnight, because the
it's cold.
bay has the all the walls have heated up over the day,
Yeah,
and the bay doesn't cool down with the air coming in.
right.
Like it's very hard to get the airflow going in there. Like
Right.
even with the doors open with the breeze, like it just like there isn't much breeze over there.
Right.
And so it is warm between those hours, like you sweat a lot,
Mhm.
but it is workable.
Right.
Would be nice to have AC, of course, but it's workable for
Absolutely.
now.
Yeah.
Didn't do any work on Mike's 914 this week. He got the fuel pump in, but I offered, but there was just other stuff to do. I actually worked on the Bobcat with him. He's got this Bobcat with this floor pan that need to be fixed, and so I worked on that with him a little bit, bending
Cool.
that with him a little bit, and then unbending it because we realized that we wanted to go a different route with it. And then cutting some of the supports on it and readjusting them accordingly. So
Mhm.
did a little bit of work on that this week with him, but didn't do any work on his 914. But I talked about earlier, did some work on the Miata on the lift.
Mhm.
Um, was really excited to get the lift going. I was super satisfying to finally put a car on the lift and watch it go.
Yeah.
That was super cool. And the green car, because I moved the 914 over. Um, I want to leave that lift space available
Mhm.
for A, the Miata brakes,
Mhm.
and B, the Lexus. It
Yep.
just makes life a lot easier. And I was also looking at the Lexus, and there wasn't a great way to put jack stands under the front or jack the car up
Mhm.
at the same time.
Yeah.
You can do it. You could go off of the subframe for jacking,
Mhm.
which I've done before on the 914 and other cars that
Yeah.
are like European. Like it's fine. It's just a little bit more cumbersome. I had to do that with my old E90
Yeah.
chassis car. Um, it's just a little bit more cumbersome. And the Lexus does fit well on the lift.
Right.
So it would be a lot easier in that respect. And then the Miata I could do on the ground, of course, but the challenge is that I
If you
only
have
have
a
floor
lift there.
space for 2 cars.
Right.
So if the Miata's on the ground, then the 914 has to be on the lift or rolled outside or something. Like
Right.
there's some coordination that has to have if there's 3 cars kind of rotating in and out of there over the
Right.
course of a week. So I wanted to make sure that the green car was rollable, but I wanted to make progress on the engine drop.
Right.
And so I was looking at everything, and what I decided to do is I hit every single suspension bolt and engine mounting bolt with penetrating oil.
It's a good idea.
So I hit those all early, let it soak in over time.
Mhm.
I hit them, at the start of my day or start of my evening last night, as well as the end of the evening before I rolled
Mhm.
the car off to get them soaking.
Could probably hit him a couple times, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, for
Just
sure.
in my experience with old cars.
Yeah, and so what I ended up doing last night was I worked on getting the exhaust off.
Mhm.
So got the muffler off. I expected to break a bunch of bolts taking the muffler off because they go to these flanges on the actual pipes.
Mhm.
And those bolts were so rusted, like
Yeah.
to the point where the bolt going through it looked like one piece to the nut,
Jesus.
like really, really rusty.
Did they come off?
I got 3. I think I got 3 out of 6 without breaking them.
Well, that's not
But
too
the other
bad.
ones I snapped, which
Yeah.
is fine. I mean, I was gonna replace them anyway. I just
Mhm.
wanted to make sure I could get it off because
Right.
I'm not gonna reuse those bolts.
Right.
Um, but I ended up getting it off, and apart, got the muffler off, and then I went ahead and took some of the heater piping off of the actual exhaust because it has like it has other pipes that go then to like for your actual heater itself for the cabin.
Mhm.
Just off of exhaust heat, it just radiates through these tubes and then it goes through these ducts and a fan and then it blows hot air.
Gotcha.
So I took that stuff off to allow me to drop the pipes. And the pipes went well. I didn't break any bolts on the exhaust manifold or anything like that. I didn't
Cool.
break any there. Some of them were rusty, but I was able to get them with penetrating oil, and then valve grinding compound is always my trick for those.
Mhm.
Put valve grinding compound on
Gives you grip.
either the screwdriver if it's a screw, like
Mhm.
for the heat shield, or for like a nut or a bolt or whatever.
Get better
It helps
with
it
the
bite.
wrench.
So I didn't end up breaking anything there. 2 of the studs did screw out on the exhaust manifold side instead of the nuts screwing off the studs, so they just screwed out of the block,
Got it.
which is fine.
Yeah.
I intend on replacing those studs anyway because they were rusty at the bottom.
Yeah.
But that stuff all went well. Got the full exhaust system off the car. So now at this point, it's axles out, and then some tin work, and then a support and the shifter linkage, and then the car is ready to drop the motor.
Cool.
So it's really not much work left. I didn't drop the transmission yesterday because I'm still trying to consider whether I want to drop the motor and transmission as a unit or I want to drop them separately. I'm not sure yet. I want to do some form research online. And I also want to set up some sort of table setup in order to put that on, or some sort of like wooden frame stand.
Like a cradle.
Something that I can, like, essentially my goal is to leave it in there with the support brace ready to drop, lower the car down so that the motor touches whatever I'm going to support it on, undo that support brace, and then lift the car off of it.
You could put it on a pallet and then use the
Yeah.
forks to get the pallet on the big metal table.
Yep. Yeah. So
do
there's a few options there. I just want to make sure that it's doable.
Mhm.
Also, for that, I would have to check clearance to make sure that I could get the forklift underneath the car, because I can't roll the car away. So there's some stuff there as well, right? Like the forklift would actually have
What
to
if-
be able to go under.
Now, would you be able to get a pallet jack under there to move it?
Yeah, I gotta ask Mike if he has a pallet jack. I don't know if he does.
That's a good thing.
But
You could also put the pallet on your transmission jack
yeah,
and then roll that.
yep. So
You could probably make that work. So I'm sure there's
some
an option there.
options. Yeah.
Now you would still have to then roll the car off the lift and outside to get the forks through and in. But I guess it would be a lot easier to roll without an engine and transmission in it, huh?
Well, the problem is I would like to take the suspension off if I can.
Before or after?
I'm not sure. I'd like to be able to. I'd like to leave the green car on the lift and drop everything out of it, like all the suspension.
Yeah.
everything.
I see that.
Yeah,
You just
if
then
I can.
you just then can't get the forks in to the shop to lift the motor up onto anything. Like then you got to do it without the forks.
Yeah. Also, the motor's not terribly heavy. Like 3 or 4 people can lift it off the ground. I was talking to Tom about this earlier, and so if that is the case, I could, whatever.
You could also get an engine lift.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure you could use an engine lift for future projects.
that's what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
and
Didn't we almost buy one time?
Mike has one in his bay, so
you can borrow
I
that.
keep borrow it.
Yeah.
But talking to Tom, he was like, "It is way more hassle to lift those motors with an engine lift than it is to just get a couple friends." That's what he was saying. Like it's way more cumbersome to hook it up and like crane it than it is to just get a couple buddies and lift it on whatever you want to work it on.
Gotcha.
So that's what he was saying. So I'm kind of going off of that. But regardless, did make progress on that car this week. And I also took off the last remaining caliper so that if that car is on the ground, I can still continue working on it and rebuilding the brake system.
Right.
So continuing to do that stuff in that respect. And my last update is the lift started leaking again last night. So I noticed some spatters on the floor earlier that evening, and they were clear. And so I was like, okay, like I know that I had the Miata on the lift. I put it on the lift for something. Can't remember. But like, I rolled it through and then I left it there or something like that. And I was like, okay, maybe the AC was spattering a little bit because it was like a clearer hydraulic fluid. I was like, okay, maybe the AC is spattering or whatever. I didn't really think much of it because I was also using like cleaners and brake clean and other fluids all that day.
Right. Well, and I was in there
these
fucking throwing oil everywhere. Yeah.
It could easily be some like spatter from some cleaning fluid or something that I used earlier that day.
Right.
I was like, I wasn't worried about it. And I wiped it up. And then later when I was getting the green car down, I noticed spatters again and it looked a little wetter. It was clear hydraulic fluid. It was clear fluid, some sort of clear fluid. I didn't know what it was at that point. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's weird. And so I got the green car off and I started looking at it, and the west side post has a leak coming out of somewhere. I didn't look whether it's the line hookup or the seals. I was like, fuck this. I'm just pissed. I'm gonna go over there today and take a look at it before I send a message.
Is it the same one that the company fixed?
They did both.
They did both.
They did both.
And they did the line hook.
Because Higley's Automotive doesn't do one at a time, because the other one can go out if you just do one.
Oh, good. And if it's the line hookup, that's the line that they would have hooked up to.
It hooks up on both pistons. There's a
Uh-huh.
one at the bottom. That one is closer to the pump. But I mean, they both receive the same pressure. So,
Right.
anyways, the lift is leaking. And I've pretty much my plan of action is I'm going to call them and let them, depending on what I find.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a loose line, which I honestly am hoping that it is,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tighten the line and see if it goes away.
Mm-hmm.
If it's the actual seal in the piston, I
Mhm.
have to call them up and
Right.
have them replace it.
Right.
I've decided that regardless, I want to let them know, and I want to get some sort of money back.
Yep.
Because they've wasted my time enough. They fucked me over enough. This was a shit install job, and they know it because they had to go back and already correct a set of things that I had outlined for them.
Just so I'm clear, they hooked up the line. So if it is a leaking line,
hooked up
they
the
didn't tighten it
lines,
enough,
they
right?
replaced the seals.
Got it.
Yeah.
So if the line is leaking, it's because they didn't tighten it enough.
That's
And if it's the seal, it's because they put a jank seal in or did a shit job putting the seal in.
Correct.
Got it.
And so I know for a fact that
They fucked something up.
they fucked something up,
Right.
right?
Which would not be the first time.
Yeah, would not be the first time.
Right.
And so I don't often leave. Actually, I was thinking about this morning. I've never left a negative review for a business ever,
Why?
because I have owned my own business,
Mhm.
and then B, I understand that like sometimes people go through hard times, or I'm just a single data point within the chain of events, and so I've only left positive reviews or no review. That's kind of how I've done it. And if I've left no review and it was kind of an iffy experience, I won't recommend the place in person to people, or I'll tell them like, yeah, it was kind of 50-50 experience for me. But I won't ever leave a publicly available bad review, or like I at least I haven't at this point. I've decided that if I get money back on this job and they're like, we're sorry, I'll get money back, I'll leave that alone.
Right.
If the line is loose or the seals are bad and they've replaced them, and I don't, even if they replace them and I don't get any money back, I will leave a bad review in either of those two case scenarios. I have never been screwed over so hard by a company as I have by Higley's Automotive with this lift install.
Yep.
The bolts weren't torqued on the floor. They left an absolute mess. They did a hack job with the seals. Even if the seal's not leaking, I watched them do it. It was a fucking hack job.
Yep.
They didn't fucking care. They didn't torque anything. The electrical wiring in the top of the box wasn't even in the fucking box. They left a mess all over the bay. They were in a rush. They didn't fucking care about a single thing.
Well, they lied to you about the price.
And they lied to me about the price. They tried to charge me over double
what
what they quoted me on the phone.
And in text.
And in text. And in text.
You have it
and
in
on
writing.
the phone.
Yep.
They tried to charge me over double. I have never been screwed over so hard by a company.
Yep.
And this is the first time where I'm like, my experience was so atrocious with these people that I actually feel the genuine need to warn other people about it.
Yep.
Like this isn't like, oh, like the food was kind of mid. It was like, no, like these people actually screwed me over, like really hard and overtly.
Yeah. Food is something interesting. Can I interject?
Yeah.
Because when I write Google reviews, if I'm leaving a Google review for a McDonald's, right, I'm not going to say that they didn't use Wagyu beef, and so I'm only giving it a 3-star out of 5, right? I judge it based off of how well the business is doing, right? Like if you're going to McDonald's, you can expect that kind of food, right? If the food is mid, I'm just going to say that it was a good, like this was a fine experience. There were no issues, right? If the food is mid and it's really expensive, I'll say the food was fine, but it was overpriced, in my opinion, right? Expect to pay a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
And so if I have a subjectively mediocre experience, I will still give like a 5-star review for that. If it's objectively a bad experience, then I leave a lower Google star. Like Grace and I, when we went to Oklahoma, there was a terrible hotel that we stayed in. Like the sheets were visibly dirty. The towels were visibly dirty.
That's nasty.
There were bugs. It was bad, right? And so like I left I think a 2-star review, and I was like, I'm giving it 2 stars because this was dirt cheap. We paid like fucking $30 a night. You get what you pay for. Just a heads up. Do not think this is a screaming deal, because you will sleep in dirty sheets and like the pillowcases smell. So like be warned, right? And the company, like, they left the laundry room door open, so like I could see the way that they do their laundry. I know that system can be improved. And so I left the review to warn other people, but also because the business should be doing a better job than that, and they need to know that the customers see that and they aren't just skating by.
Right.
And so like I leave bad reviews to let other people know genuinely about how the experience was, but then also to let the business owner know. There's a guy, the pho place on 192, right? We've done 3 times. 2 times we had the same waiter who was like super racist towards us. And I know it's racism because other white people have gone and had problems, and I know Asian people who've gone and not had problems.
Yeah.
And we went back this most recent time, and there was a different waiter. We had like a fine experience.
Yeah.
So like I leave reviews to let other people know, but not like actively degrade. But if a business knowingly fucks you over, I will rage.
Yeah.
Dude,
It was
my Charlotte airport review has over 50,000 views. It's detrimental to their business. I'm sure people don't fly to Charlotte airport anymore because of my Google. but like people should know, right? Like if you're knowingly doing something that fucks the customer over, I will rage.
Yeah, I have never had an experience with another company as bad as this one.
Yep.
Never.
Yep.
Never.
Zero effort to make it right.
Zero.
Negative effort. Negative effort.
Yeah. Like my honest question is part of your business model fucking over the customer so hard that they continue to call you back for shit that breaks?
Yeah.
Is that part of your fucking business model?
It's like planned obsolescence from Apple, but worse.
But way worse.
Yeah, they make you feel bad about it.
Lifts aren't that complicated.
No.
There's a pump, there's some seals, there's a couple line connections, and it's got to be level and bolted into the ground.
But that's coming from a hydraulic engineer for Blue Origin.
Yeah, and at NASA too.
Yeah.
It's
not rocket
that
science.
fucking complicated.
It's not rocket science.
Right?
It's coming from a rocket scientist.
And it's like it's really aggravating. It's not even disappointing. It's just aggravating.
Yep.
It's a lot of money, and it was a really the attention to detail was not there, and that's saying it as politely as I possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so disappointed because it's like I used the lift for 2 days before it started leaking.
I was there.
2.
I was
right?
there.
And
We had the Lexus up for an hour. That was it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Minimal use.
And you know this. I set it on the safeties every single time.
You set it on the safety?
We raised it above the safety, and I
Thank God.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And it's like when I was at Autobahn, we'd raise it up past the safety, and as long as we heard the clicks, we'd just leave it.
Right.
Wouldn't set it on the safety, unless you were doing some like really heavy wrenching work and the car was going to move around, then you put it on the safeties.
Right.
But like I was really diligent of like going up, then drop it on the safety, go up, drop it on the safety, like every fucking time I used it.
Yep. And we never even maxed out the range. Like we only got it up like maybe like 2/3 the length of the total max. So it's not even like you're really maxing out the pump.
No, and like the Miata's not a heavy car. The Porsche is not a heavy car. It's not like I'm blowing the shit out of this thing.
Even the Lexus isn't like, it's like 3,600 pounds. It's not a fucking truck, you know?
Yeah, it's not some 5,000 pound vehicle, right? I mean, it's so aggravating. And it's really frustrating. Because I was really excited to use this lift, and I paid a lot of money to have it done right. And it wasn't done right, and I still paid a lot of money because I had to pay the bill.
Right. 36.49, by the way. I was damn close on that.
That's good.
Man, I'm good.
Yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend Haley's Automotive to a single person. For anyone who is going to start an auto shop in the future or might see this video or whatever, I would never recommend them. I would never use them. If I was stuck on a desert island and I had no tools and the only way to get out was to fix a hydraulic thing on a boat, and they had all the tools and I had none, I would take my chances on myself and leave them in the fucking sand over there.
Yeah.
You'd
actively recommend against using them.
Actively recommend against using them. Would never ever use them for anything.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I really want them to come and fix the problem.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if I want them back there again.
Yeah.
Ever.
It's kind of like, have you ever dated someone and like it just didn't work out, and like the
Yeah.
relationship was fine, but you guys were just like not meant for each other,
Sure.
right? And then you see them dating someone else, and you're like, I wonder if they're a better fit, right? And
Yeah.
like you let it be. But if you date someone who's like genuinely deranged, and you have to file a restraining order, and she like pokes holes in the condom and like steals from your bank account and shit, and then she starts dating another guy, you might send him a DM and be like, dog, heads up, right? Like some businesses are maybe they're a better fit, and some businesses are, it is my duty as a civil citizen to let this person know the danger they're walking into,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah, I think
Yeah.
this is one of the latter.
Yep. It's I mean, it's
And
like,
it is
it's
dangerous.
my safety too.
It is your safety. And
Yeah.
if you were working on customer cars, that's your safety, that's an employee's safety, that's a client's car. The
Yep.
the 356, 365?
356.
The 356 garage next door works on $500,000 cars. What if you had one of their cars over, or you are working on a
Yeah.
similar thing? That's a fucking $1 million disaster, right?
Right.
Plus like medical bills if you
Yeah.
injure
If
yourself.
you were injured.
Or me, that's two people.
Right.
And then Mike's
Exactly.
fucked because
Well,
it happened
that's
to
why-
his
well,
place.
that was so upsetting about it was like, it's not even my safety. It's like whoever, like, because of this lift leaking, it's whoever comes into this bay at this point.
Yep.
It's like I have to go through every single thing on this lift.
Yep.
Now, and like, which I already went through like the basics,
Mhm.
but like I figured at least the fucking seals wouldn't leak.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Because you had to replace.
And I don't know
both
if
of
it's the
them.
seals or the lines, but it doesn't fucking matter to me because they
Yep.
tighten both.
Yep.
They that was
Wait,
their
they
work.
tightened both?
Well, they didn't tighten the seal.
Well, the
Right.
same way they tightened the bolts on the ground?
You're right.
I
Well,
I don't think they own
they
a torque
used
wrench.
a wrench. A wrench.
Used
So,
a
right,
wrench.
whatever. And it's yeah, extremely disappointing. Excruciatingly frustrating. And I'm gonna go back there and I'm gonna check out the seals. I'm gonna lift the lift up, drop the lift down on jack stands to relieve the pressure off of the plates. And then I'm going to just check the torque on that line.
Yeah.
And if the line is torqued, and also I'll have a little bit, I can look a little bit closer with a flash and stuff like that. I didn't really look last night. I just saw that the base plate was wet, and I was like, "Fuck this! I'm going home. I'm tired."
Yeah.
And yeah, super
Take pictures of everything.
super frustrating. Yeah,
Everything. Torque
Yeah.
specs, like everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so I extremely frustrated with this company.
Yep.
Would never ever work with them again. And but that pretty much concludes my update. Once again, if you're looking to start a shop or want to have a lift install or want any hydraulic work, do not use Higley's Automotive. Use someone else.
Yeah.
So,
I've got to add on just at the very end because this is off the topic.
I mean, how many times have you seen me get like upset with a company to the point where I've like done like a relatively public thing to be like, do not use them?
Not to public. You rage to me a lot about many things. And rightfully so. And most of the time it's like me raging on the cashier at El Presidente supermarket where it's like this one moron ruined my day. Or like the fat Indian lady who like tried to hit me on 192. Like,
Yeah.
like specific instances, right? But like it's very rare that you like rage out on like a whole company.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever done it.
I don't know if I have either, apart from the Charlotte
I mean,
airport.
this experience was just so bad
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
Like you can't ignore it.
Yeah, and like part of the reason I love leaving Google reviews is because it takes a monumental, like a magical experience for someone to leave a good Google review. And so you don't get many of them.
Yeah.
And I know because I've serviced many happy real estate clients and I haven't gotten a single fucking review from anyone, right? Some of them I have, but like the hardest real estate deals that I like work my maximum to make happen, I don't get Google reviews for it. So like I recognize that it's tough, but it takes like a very minor inconvenience for someone to leave a bad Google review.
Yeah.
And so I try to leave reviews on every business that I interact with, good, bad, or indifferent, so that I have the moral foundation to say I leave reviews reflective of my genuine experience. I don't just leave bad reviews when I'm upset. I don't just leave good reviews for people I'm buddies for. I leave honest reviews for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's something that I personally enjoy doing because I think I can help other customers, but I also can give back to the businesses who genuinely do a good job and then shine a light on the problems for like, I mean, I've talked to Tyler about the Kava Bar constantly, right?
Yeah.
Like there are problems that he isn't even aware of in his business. And so if he learns about a problem through a
Right.
Google review that I leave and he fixes it, and then I go back and update my Google review, I just indirectly told him about a problem that he could fix for his business. So I really like doing it. It's rare that you find a business. And the problem with this business in particular is it's not like you had a shitty experience with the cashier at McDonald's. It's like the franchise owner came out and told you to fuck yourself. Like the business owner
Yeah, or
is the
at least the
problem.
main. I think he's the lead.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Just beyond disappointed.
Yeah.
And really, really frustrated that I spent that amount of money
hmm
to have them do that lift.
But on a brighter note, which is what I wanted to talk about a second ago, is I am so proud of you for the shop that you have put together.
Well, I appreciate it.
I knew it would come together to be like this awesome. I thought it would take longer because I know the stuff like brighter lights and AC and like,
Bathroom redone.
bathroom remodel and stuff.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things that I don't expect you to spend money on right away because there are other things that are more important to
Right.
you. They're things that I value because it's the finishing touches to make a
Sure.
place like, like my dream kind of,
Yeah.
and I know that the more important stuff to you is like, do I have the right tools to get the job done, whether it's comfortable or not?
Right.
And so I'm really happy that Mike has stepped in to help with some of these things.
Yeah, immense amount of appreciation from Mike.
Yeah.
And not just what like putting aside all of the help he's had with electrical and
Mhm.
plumbing and all that stuff, like just having him help me move stuff and
Mhm.
also just
Plan.
being there for me to like ask questions about too, like
Yeah.
just been beyond helpful and
Yeah.
super, super thankful for
Yeah.
that.
And so I'm proud, but I'm even more exuberant because it happened faster than I thought it would. And the past, like when I was in high school and college working on cars, it was like in my dad's garage or at my buddy's garage, right? Like in garages. And then in college, I did less work at my dad's place, and then Shaw and I stopped hanging out, so like no work at the fast station anymore. And so like it was just you and me in the parking lot for a long time.
Yeah.
And then it was you and me in the driveway of the duplex for a long time. And like working on cars in parking lots is the fastest way to fall in love with working on vehicles. Like it's just such a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
And so now when the Camaro has issues, I don't even want to think about dealing with it because I don't want to have to fucking go through the effort of diagnosing and figuring shit out because then I have to rent space at Autobahn and I don't want to put them out. And I don't want to do it in the parking lot because it's fucking July in Florida. And I have to have the car for work the next day.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to get yelled at by your neighbors for having a car on jack stands. So like it's a nightmare. So like for the past couple years, I would say that I haven't exactly looked forward to working on cars, but doing the bare minimum on the Lexus yesterday, I had so much fun.
Yeah.
And I really
it's easy.
dude,
It's nice.
I really miss enjoying working on cars and I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
And so I'm very grateful that you have the space and that you let me use it. And I'm
Oh, yeah.
grateful that you've built as cool of a space as you have because I had so much fun. And I'm excited to do the breaks later in the week.
Yeah.
And like now I feel motivated to like figure out what's going on with the cooling issue in the Camaro and like maybe fix the AC. And like, if I do get an LC, like when we did the Lexus yesterday, I've never had it on the lift before, so I've never seen the details. But like we both noticed that the tailpipes have like a very slight dip in the bottom, so that condensation has a place to drip off of into the bumper. And then there's drain holes in the bumper.
Yeah, there's a little drain in the bumper.
Yeah, so that it
cool,
drips
yeah.
under the car so you can't see it. And I was like, oh man, that's such a cool like little design feature
Yeah.
that they have in here that like no one will ever see. Like even the service techs at Lexus probably don't pay attention to that. But like that's the stuff that I really love about attention to detail cars. And that's something that I wouldn't have noticed working on the Lexus in a driveway because we've done it and I haven't noticed it.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited to get an LC and work on it in that space because I know that I will enjoy it so much more than doing shit in a parking lot.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I just wanted to give you a compliment. And
I
thank
appreciate it. I appreciate it. I mean, it took about a month and a half.
So fast, by the way. That's very fast.
I mean, I was in there like every single day from 6 p.m. until midnight during the week, and then from around 10 a.m. on most days, somewhere between 9 and 11 10 a.m. until 2 in the morning
Yep.
on Saturdays, and then after podcast 4 p.m. to midnight on Sundays. And I did that every single day to get that space prepped, and I continue working in there. And it's come to the point where I'm very happy with where the space is at, and
Yeah.
that things are laid out and they're nice. It's easy to find stuff. Everything's organized. Like it's not. It's not. It doesn't feel like it's just thrown together.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate it. It took a lot of effort, but the space really did turn out super, super well.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And it's not done,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is even cooler.
And I brought my bicycle in too, so I can ride around.
Yeah.
I rode around yesterday. I rode out to the end of the drive there to watch fireworks along the
US.
along the water over there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, I'm super happy with the space. So thank you,
Me too.
appreciate it. But yeah, been a while coming. But that is what I have for business this week. What do you have for business this week?
Mine's pretty short, and it's just because I did a lot of the same shit. So, like, real quick update on our client. Grace is helping her family member find a vacant lot. We found one that's actually pretty close to here, and it's like in a neighborhood. There's a whole like bunch of neighborhood, no HOA, so there's like not a ton of like nice homes. They're all like kind of wonky. You tend to find that in non-HOA neighborhoods, but it's near here, and I think it's a great area to buy land. I think it will go up in value, especially in a no HOA zone. And so we went to see it with her family member, and it's not cleared. There's a lot of like underbrush, and there's no HOA, so like the neighbors have chickens, and so they seemed interested in the idea of all the pros, but kind of put off by the cons of like no chickens and stuff, or the fact that the neighbors have chickens, and so I think they're kind of coming to the same realization now that our last clients who wanted to buy vacant land and build a home themselves on are having, which is finding the perfect raw land is difficult, especially because you need no HOA. And having no HOA means you can't control your neighbors. And like, what if someone builds in the empty lot next door and they build an ugly thing that you don't want to deal with? So there's a tiny home community in Cocoa that we had given a virtual walkthrough to before they moved down here. And they went up and drove around the neighborhood when they moved down, and they were like, there's like a bunch of road noise. Like, I'm not sure if I like it. But in the past couple of days, they've been like, hey, let's go like actually look around inside that home. Because if the road noise isn't that bad inside, then maybe that's a good option. And it's come down in price a lot since then. It came down from like $280,000 to $230,000, which is a $50,000 price drop. But that's like a 20%.
It's a big percentage of the price, though.
Big percentage. So it's a pretty good deal. And we could probably get them down even lower. So we're going to set some time up to go look at that later this week. But if it ends up being a good fit, I think he might just jump for that, because getting raw land is a whole thing. And I'm not sure if he wants to deal with the whole thing. He might just want to move in someplace and be done with it. So we'll see.
Right.
So that's the client update. For Google Ads, my Wi-Fi isn't working, so I don't know how many people have seen my Google ad. I got a call this week, but it was from a rental company, like a car rental company.
Okay.
And Google was like, "You got a call from a client," and I was like, "I don't fucking think so." And it was the rental company, and I was like, "That is not that."
Yeah.
But we got Grace's account set up, so she's being verified now. Because I figure if Google's showing my account to like 150 people a week, and I'm not being paid, like charged anything, that is my greatest ROI on advertisements right now. Zero effort, 150 people a week who are Googling, right? So we'll get Grace set up for the same thing. So that is in the process of being verified. My Facebook ads, like my warm-up campaign, I had to make a new campaign because I realized that the campaign I had made for warm-up was set to maximize link clicks, not maximize leads. And so I couldn't do the lead form / direct DM.
Okay, yeah.
So I set up another campaign. That campaign is on $2 a day, so it's the same spend. One is to get Google form clicks, and then one of them is to get DM or Facebook form. And so that's running in the background. I don't have any like output from that yet, but I only started running it on like Wednesday, so I'll give it a little bit of time. I started filming like test footage in different areas for my my ads, like my Facebook scripts for like dedicated Facebook ads. And so I'm playing around with the phrasing with a couple of the hooks because I don't want it to sound like cheesy. I want it to sound more natural. And so I'm playing around with like the ums and ahs to make it sound more legit. And so I've started working on that. most of my time this week has gone into getting a video on social media, Instagram and Facebook once a day, every day.
Cool.
And I'm not posting on Saturdays and Sundays because it's the weakest performance for everything because people are out living real life. It's strongest to post social media on the weekdays. And so I'm going to use the weekends as time to film a couple videos and bank them up because I have been getting into a routine of waking up, going to work, coming home, filming a video, and then going to the bar and editing that video, and then that's my night.
Sure.
And that is not practical if I want to continue this pace when we have clients. It's not practical if I want to put more effort into like making Facebook ads. And it's not practical if I have other shit to do, like working on the car this week.
Sure.
And so what I've done this weekend is I've taken the time to sit down and write scripts out for several videos. And then today, tonight, or tomorrow, I'll film like 3 or 4 videos and edit them so that I have a couple banked up.
Yeah.
And so as long as I film more than 5 videos a week, I will always have a couple days in the bank in case I need to go a day without filming, so I can still get a video up that day.
Nice.
But I've been consistent. Monday through Friday, I posted a video every single day, so I'm still like hitting my marks. It's gotten pretty decent engagement. I'm averaging like 250 views a video ish. Grace told me I was going to sleep last night. I had taken a melatonin, so I was like powering down. It was like 1 a.m. and Grace was like, "Someone commented on your TikTok," and I was like, "Okay." And she was like, "They asked a question," and I was like, "Very nice." And she was like, "You should answer that so that you boost the engagement." And I was like, "I am going to do that first thing when I wake up." And then I forgot until right now, so I have to go answer them today. But they're going well. I'm pretty happy with how the videos are coming out. I have experienced a little bit of burnout because I don't really like making social media videos.
Yeah.
I don't like answering questions that haven't been asked, and that's most of what these social media videos are. So ideating in the moment became difficult, which is why I'm writing out scripts ahead of time now, so I don't have to think of the idea and then make it sound good all in the same moment. But I've had multiple people come up to me at the bar and say like, "Hey, I didn't know this. I learned this about your video." So like one of the videos was about the house that had smoke damage. We sold it to an investor, and like we actually didn't want to market that house. We wanted to keep it off market because that's a competitive advantage for that situation. Savannah at the bar was like, "I had never even considered that. That was really interesting to learn. So I've logged that in my brain. Thanks for sharing." And I was like, "Okay, cool. People are learning from this." And I made one on the difference between realtors and real estate agents, and Adam came up to me and he was like, "I didn't know that there was a difference." So like, I'm glad I learned. So like people are watching, and people are learning from it. And so that's good. I'm getting the familiarity up, right? Familiarity leads to trust. So hopefully that results in trust down the line. So I just have to keep at it, but I've been pretty happy with how it's been coming out. So most of this week has just been like on the steady grind of doing that every day.
Good. Consistency is good.
That is my business update. What lessons did you learn this week?
I didn't write down a lesson. I think that the lesson that really screams out to me is the one I had a similar one to what I had a couple weeks back, which is if you want something done right, do it yourself or find someone that you really trust. That has never been more evident than it has with the current Lyft situation. And so that's what I would say for a lesson learned this week. Yeah,
I might have
learned.
I might have an update for you on that.
Da, 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 da. Ba, 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 ba.
Okay, so my preferred home inspector.
Mm.
Every real estate agent has a preferred home inspector, unless you're my friend's real estate agent, and in which case my friend asked me if I had a recommendation because their agent sucks. Maybe I'll make a video about that. But my home inspector is with Shorebreak Home Inspections. His name's Levi. He's awesome. He is super thorough. His inspection reports look like inspection reports that you and I would write if we were home inspectors, which not every real estate agent likes because some real estate agents want as little on the sheet as possible so that no clients freak out and it's an easy deal. But I want my clients to get what they pay for. And so I want them to have a report of like literally fucking everything. If there's a scuff on the door jamb, I want it noted. And Levi's fucking very thorough with all that shit, right? So I trust Levi's judgment. I said, "Hey, Levi," I texted this during the podcast. I said, "Hey, Levi, do you have a preferred HVAC technician? My buddy is getting a system installed in his garage and he needs someone reputable. I hold your judgment in high regard." He said, "I usually use Barker Air Conditioning and Heating. They're a little more expensive, but definitely the best around. They are located in Sebastian, but I do believe they service Brevard as well." So there you go. There's your recommendation. I'll text that to you so you have it.
Awesome. Yeah.
But that that might be a resolution for find someone
Yeah.
you trust to do it.
It's yeah, I mean it's never been more evident. I'm honestly hoping that it's the line so that I can tighten it up
Mm-hmm.
and
It doesn't inhibit
proceed.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, because if it's a seal, like I either I have to do it or
You have to
the
find another
lead has
company.
or the not find another company, or the lead has to come back and do it, and I have to be a hawk on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And none of those cases I really like.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really hoping it's just the line that's leaking.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
Fingers
see.
crossed.
Yeah.
Well, and if it is the seal and you ask the guy to come back out and he says, sure, it'll be $500. I mean, you're not going to pay him, right? Like you'll leave a bad Google review and complain, but you're going to have to get another technician to come out and do it. So like you're going to be stuck paying either way if they
Yeah.
don't give you something free.
Yeah.
But feel free to threaten them with the level 8 Google local ride because that is a weapon. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I appreciate it. Yeah. So-
Don't let them know that I'll be doing it anyway.
Oh, of course not. I'm not gonna let them know I'm gonna leave a Google review either. They can fix my shit,
Yeah.
and then
If they tell you it'll be $500, you'll say, "How about free?" And I don't leave a terrible Google review, and then you leave
Yeah.
it anyway.
yeah,
No.
there we go.
Yeah.
But that's what I got for lesson learned. What about you? What's your
Cool.
lesson this week?
My lesson is about something that I haven't talked about yet. I saved it for the end of the podcast. Normally, I put Northrop Grumman stuff in my life update, but I saved it. So this, I recognize I need to earn more money to comfortably afford an LC. Even if I spend really well this week, or I'm sorry, in the next 2 months, I can technically afford an LC, but probably not responsibly afford an LC. I can make it happen, but I'm not going to be saving a ton of money every
Yeah.
month, right? I might save a couple $100 a month, and of course, real estate can offset that. But like, really, I would be more comfortable if I could like pay for an LC and then like put $500 in the bank every month. That would be the
Yeah.
best, right? And stuff comes up like the speeding ticket school or the real estate
Yeah,
continuing
or like
education
service
exam.
parts for an LC would be a lot more too.
Exactly, right? And
Yeah.
so especially if I'm going to be stacking miles on the LC, I would probably put like 10 to 15,000 miles a year on that car
Yeah.
at least, if not more. And so we're looking at like 3 oil changes a year and probably like brakes every 2 years. I'm sure
Yeah.
I'll drive the shit out of that car. And like there's other systems in there that I don't know about. Like I want one with the dynamic handling package, which means I have a hydraulically actuated wing. Maybe that system fails, right?
Yeah.
In any case, you get the point. So I know that I need a promotion to afford this car, right? Likely. Like I said, I'm still doing my 2 months, but I should target a promotion in any case, right? And I'll finish my 2 months trial in August, which is the beginning of the fall, and they're doing another round of promotions in the fall. I've already told my functional I'm operating at a level 3. So the functional is the guy who like goes and like he holds your interview and like tries to guide you through your career path, and he talks to HR. My assignment manager is the guy who actually writes my reviews, and if he leaves a bad review, you're probably not getting a promotion. So you need a good review from that guy, and then they both go to bat for you. So I've already talked to my functional, and I was like, I'm operating at a level 3 engineer. I should be a level 3. And he was like, well, we're doing promos in the fall, so like do your write up, and like we'll try to get you at a level 3. And I was like, cool. And so I have been logging all the tasks that I've been doing when I have done things of my own volition, or when I've covered for other people, or when I've met or exceeded expectations, when I failed expectations. Like I'm logging everything so that I can inform that write up for the fall, right? And on Monday, my assignment manager, so like the guy who writes my review and is like my boss every day, was out of office. And so he messaged me on the low side, and he was like, hey, can you take care of these couple things? And I said, I don't know how to do those things, but I will get them done. And he was like, okay, if you need me to do it tomorrow, like, it's not the end of the world. It would just be helpful. And so I went and I learned how to do it. And then I messaged him like 30 minutes later, and I was like, done. He was like, wow, that was fast. Cool. And so then the next day he came in and he was like, hey, I need you to do this other thing too. And I was like, I did that yesterday when I did the other thing. He was like, oh, okay. Like, nice. And I was like, yeah. And on like so I continue to do my work. I'm solving issues that have been on his plate for a while but aren't a high priority. They're becoming a higher priority, but they're still not the highest priority. So I'm trying to find solutions to those problems before it becomes a hot button issue. And so like I scheduled meetings to get that rolling. And so he came by my desk on like Wednesday or Thursday, and he was like, hey, Mason. And I was like, hey. And he was like, what are you up to? And so I pulled up my list of like like I had like 8 different tasks, and I was like, I'm doing these 2 at the same time. I have a meeting that'll solve this one later today, and then these 3 things will probably be next week. And he was like, damn. And I was like, what? He was like, you're doing awesome. And I was like, I really need a new car. And he was like, what? And I was like, the Camaro is just a fucking nightmare. Like, I really need a new car. I know they're doing promotions in the fall. And so I am going to work harder than you've ever seen me work so that I get this promotion so that I can afford this car. And he was like, okay, go for it. And I was like, okay. And so he went back to his desk, and then he messaged me and he was like, oh, hey, did you reach out to the guy I asked you to reach out to earlier today? And I said, yeah, I emailed him as soon as you asked me. We have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow. And he was like, damn, I wish you had wanted a new car earlier. And so I kept that quote in my head because I'm like, yeah, okay. I know that I am capable of more than I put in at Northrop Grumman, right? And it's for a myriad of reasons, but chief amongst them is I know that promotions haven't been on the cards for a past while. So like, what's the fucking point? But now that there's a promotion up, it's like, you know, the meme where there's the guy who's playing video games, then he leans forward.
Oh yeah.
It's basically that,
Right.
right? Like I'm just leaning forward. I'm just like, you know, I'm covering for people. I'm applying myself. And if it doesn't result in a promotion, then I'll go get an offer from another company and I'll make Northrop Grumman give me a promotion. But I'm trying to take this lesson of I wish I had worked harder earlier, which I don't have personal regrets. My boss wishes that I had worked harder earlier, but I'm trying to take that lesson and then apply it not to myself, but to other people, where maybe there's someone who sees one of my social media videos and they go, man, I wish you had made that video like a month earlier and I wouldn't have gotten into the housing predicament that I'm in.
Yeah.
Like I wish that this had happened sooner, or like I wish I had met you earlier, or I wish I had known about you before I signed up with my shitty real estate agent, right? And so I'm trying to use that as motivation to continue the social media grind, because the social media grind is the epitome of the Alex Hermosi, like, how long can you do something without reward? Because like, I am not personally fulfilled or rewarded with a number of views on my video or engagement on my videos. Like, if I won the lottery tomorrow, I probably wouldn't have a phone anymore. Like, definitely not like social media. I just would not be interested in posting anything, right? So like, we're most like Alinka at the bar made Alinka at the bar 2 weeks ago was like, it's not fair that rich people get free stuff to like promote it. And I was like, well, it's not like, you know, it's not free. Like the advertiser still pays for it, but they just give it to the rich people for free in hopes that they'll like wear that brand of shirt because they have influence. And she was like, well, why don't they give free stuff to smaller creators? And I was like, because why would you give a free item to someone with 200 followers when you can give it to Kim Kardashian, who has 56 million?
Yeah.
And she was like, well, because the smaller creators can't afford it. And I was like, buddy, you're missing the point here, right?
Right.
She has since started a social media account so that she can start making money on TikTok and like get free things, right? Which I think is really funny because the idea is still lost on
Right.
her, that she's just doing what the people she's complaining about are doing. But she gets positive reinforcement from getting videos, and so every day she's like, I got 20 more views today. I got like 3 more likes. Like I'm excited that people are watching, right? She said the thing where it's like, I got 30 views, but like, think about a room of 30 people watching you, right? Like you'd be afraid to speak in front of 30 people. And so like, that's a lot. And I'm happy with that. And I don't have that type of positive reinforcement. I don't get that from getting my engagement. So I need to find something else that motivates me to do it, or a reason to do it even when I'm not motivated, right? And the reason to do it even when I'm not motivated is applying this idea from my boss to potential clients in the future, which is, I might be helping people, even if it's not me as their agent. I could be helping people in other situations. And so that's why I'm going to keep making these videos. So that's the
Very
lesson I
cool.
learned this week.
Very nice. I dig it. You got a dial in?
I do. And it's related to that.
Cool.
It's a Hormozi quote, and it goes, work begins when motivation ends.
Yeah. We've said that one before. It's a good one. It's a good one. Well, thank you all for tuning in to episode 114 of the Vision 79 podcast.
All.
Huh?
All. Both. Thank you both.
Yeah, both. But
I don't even know how many views we get anymore.
About the same, I think. I think it's like 10
Let's see. Okay,
on
hang on.
YouTube.
It is like 10. 10, 11, 9, 8.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one? It was like episode 22. We had like 450 views.
Yeah,
It was a
something
2-parter. YouTube was like, let's give these kids a chance. And then we uploaded episode 23, and it was like, nah, fuck these kids.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay, last one got 14, 11, 11, 9, 8, 15, 7, 10. Yeah, it looks like the last 20 we had was episode 100, and before that was 25. So there's like a little peak around like 97 to 100. But yeah, I mean, this is a perfect working example about how I don't care about the views. I don't get positive reinforcement. I don't know why.
But regardless, thank you both for tuning in.
Yeah, that's right.
Hope you have a great week coming up, and we will see you next time.